Hey, Andre, thanks for joining me today on a little bit of a podcast / video, TFL Car Chat. And we are here talking about some really interesting things. Cars that are left on parking lots, on dealer lots, where we might be able to get a bargain at the end of the year.
Yes, I'm really curious about this list.
Yeah, we got a list at Hagerty, basically classic cars that they think are going to appreciate. They always do this every year. They just publish their new list. And by the way, you're
Bull
here.
market list.
Bull market here. We'll talk about that. And of course, you are here.
Yeah, where's Tommy? And where?
He just watched the Seth Meyers show being recorded in New York.
What?
Yeah, he just texted me. Or called me, actually.
Why are we not there?
Because he's on vacation in New York City for the holidays.
Okay, good.
And he went to the recording of the Seth Meyers show, and he said it was a lot of fun.
You know what? My wife was recently, like last year, she was there for holidays, and the city just has a lot of energy. You know, there's a Rockefeller Center, there's a Christmas tree, there's Lego store. I mean, there's everything
There's
there.
your sister.
There's my sister lives there.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a fun place to be.
Him and his lovely wife are enjoying a week in New York, so I appreciate you being here. But before we get to all that,
Yes.
Let's talk about some news.
Yes, we must talk news.
So I don't want to rehash like news that happened a week ago, but a week ago, Toyota introduced a new sports car is born.
Yes, actually, 2 or 3 new sports cars, actually.
Yeah, but the one I want to talk about is the GR-GT.
Yes.
Which is the one that's up on the screen. It's this long hooded, very much
Very
classic.
impressive car.
Yeah, and I think I don't want to go into all the details because, like I said, that story.
Well, can I ask you one thing first? Do you like the name GR-GT?
It's not bad. It could be worse.
Okay.
I struggle with it because I don't know which one to put first.
Is it GT-GR or is it GR-GT?
Yeah, I struggle with that. And they also introduced an electric version, and this is where I want to talk about, called the Lexus. What's the Lexus called?
LFA.
The new LFA.
Yes.
And
it's electric, dude. Producer Cole and I think you were discussing this a couple of days back. We can't believe it's electric. Can you believe it?
Yeah, I can believe it. I think it's smart. I think a lot of people aren't happy about it being electric because right now we're living in a time where electric cars are no longer the car du jour.
Yes, but Roman, what was the original LFA known for?
A 10-cylinder.
And also the sound that this engine used to make.
Sure.
This car, I don't know what kind of sound it's going to be making.
Well, they said they might take some of Hyundai's,
I think
pioneering work and have it shift and maybe have like real engine note inside.
I think they need to buy the Fredzonic system from Dodge.
They should buy the Fredzonic system. They should license. Well, Hyundai does really good sound, but they do like these silly like 4-cylinder engines from their heritage because they don't have a real V8 race car engine yet.
When I was I got lucky. I was in South Korea earlier this year, and I was talking to some Hyundai engineers.
Yeah.
And they actually told me, because they were showing me one of their electric race cars, one of them went up Pikes Peak, right, hill climb, and they said that there is a way to use the bodywork to amplify some of the sounds that electric motors make that actually makes it real, not fake noises, that you generate using speakers, but they were talking about actually amplifying some noises using the bodywork of the car, which is really cool.
Yeah, I mean, it would sound like maybe like one of those Star Wars skimmers, something like that.
Yeah, like a spaceship or something like that.
Yeah, it'd be cool. But like I say, I don't necessarily want to, rehash the stuff that's already out there about the GR-GT, but I do want to talk about a couple bits of news and my opinion on one thing. So the bit of news that was kind of interesting, but I'm not sure why they're doing this, and we need to hash this out, is they announced that they're not going to sell it at Toyota dealers.
Where's it going to be sold?
It's going to be sold through Lexus dealers.
The GR-GT sports car?
Yeah.
Or can I call it supercar?
Sure.
Is that I mean, it's pretty super.
Yeah,
I mean,
we don't know a lot about it in terms of pricing. We're expecting it to be right around, they're saying they're benchmarking competitors. So if they benchmark the Corvette, figure $200,000. I'm talking about the ZR1.
yeah.
And if they benchmark the GT3, then you're more like $300,000. But I think it'll be more in the $200,000 range. That kind of feels right.
It kind of sounds super. It's a supercar.
Yeah, but imagine, here's I think, a proper analogy. Imagine if GM had decided, we're not going to sell the Corvette as a Chevy, but we're going to sell it as a Cadillac, Cadillac dealers,
at the Cadillac dealership.
As a Chevy Corvette. Why would you do that, Toyota? Why would you sell a Toyota through Lexus dealers? And I guess I understand why the thinking is, because like the dealers are more exclusive. They probably have like a higher level of customer.
Cappuccino?
wealth, I was going to say. But it could
Can
be
I get a cappuccino at the Lexus dealer?
But
Well, your wife used to own a Lexus RX.
yes, she did.
And you were telling me like you enjoyed going to a Lexus dealership.
Yeah, they have they had like you said, almost. I think some have spas.
Ooh.
And they have like computer stations, and it's but it's still a Toyota, and Lexus has the LFA.
It doesn't make sense.
I think it's a recipe to piss off a lot of Toyota dealers. I'll tell you that.
Also, it's a recipe for, let's say I bought my GR-GT
Yeah.
and I live in a kind of out-of-the-way place. Let's say I live in Santa Fe, New Mexico.
Yeah, there aren't a lot of Lexus dealers out there.
But there might be a Toyota dealer nearby.
Yeah.
So where do I go? Do I go to a Toyota dealer that's nearby?
Lexus.
Or do I have to go to a Lexus dealer somewhere else?
And then it's also, when you think about it, it's also odd because when I was in Japan, they announced that they're going to sell the new Century, right? The high-end bespoke, more...
Where are you going to sell that?
Lexus.
Wow, Lexus dealer.
So Lexus is getting the LFA electric, and I like the fact that Toyota's giving people choice. If you want electric, get the LFA. If you want, a twin turbo, I think is it a twin turbo V8?
Yeah,
yeah,
with a hybrid, with a little electric motor too.
Yeah, 600 plus horsepower.
Yeah.
Then, which isn't that much, but I think it's a good number. Then you can go internal combustion. But why is it not going through Toyota? Why are we having to go to?
I don't like that.
I don't like that either.
I don't like that either.
No,
No.
I think a lot of Toyota dealers are going to find they're going to get their nose out of joint because of that. Because let's face it, a lot of Toyota dealers are very wealthy, and I think they want one. And some might own also Lexus dealerships, but there are a lot of those dealers could be not just sellers of that car, but customers. And now that they're being sold through Lexus,
and also there's a GR lineage, right? There's GR Corolla that's next to it, right?
Yeah.
There's a GR Supra I know it's being discontinued, but there's other GR, lineup of cars that are also should be next to it, right? Why would you separate this other car, put it somewhere else? In
like
a
I
Lexus
say,
dealer?
like selling a Chevy Corvette at a Cadillac dealership.
Now, if you
It's
rebranded the C8 as a Cadillac, that would be a different story.
Right, but they didn't.
Right.
They made the
Right.
LFA which makes sense.
Yes.
And the other thing I noticed is, and this is kind of, let's call it industry insider review.
Yes.
And it does cut a little close to the bone, I'll give you that.
Okay.
Because when we started TFL, we didn't get a lot of respect because we were doing video. Right, 2009, we were one of the early YouTubers out there doing video, and I would go on.
That was you, yeah.
Me and Nathan sometimes.
And then Tommy.
And Tommy, and then you. We'll go on these programs, and the manufacturers rank publications based on how important they think they are, or maybe their reach. And we would always be like B or C, and yet it was clear even back then that video was going to be the way that you're going to sell cars and you're going to get the word out about cars. And we would always be kind of the second in line after the print people. Actually, third in line. So first the Buff Books, they got the first 2 months, 3 month advanced.
What's
programs.
the Buff Book?
Motor
explain
Trend,
that?
Car and Driver, Road and Track, Automobile.
So the kind of the big four or the
Magazines.
big five.
Yeah, they went on these long leads, so they would always be invited. And then the regular print people went next. So if you were a reporter for
Wall Street Journal.
Yeah, exactly. Or,
Bloomberg.
Yeah, Bloomberg or Automotive News,
Yes.
or even your local
Detroit Free Press.
Yeah, or the auto editor for the Denver Post, whatever. And then, of course, all the people who have digital media, like blogs. And then somewhere in the back, it was this video.
Some video guys.
Video guys who were a pain in the ass because we took a lot more time and we had to shoot a lot more videos. And over time, I think it flipped because manufacturers realized that the video component in terms of reach and in terms of helping people buy cars
And also
in terms of
excitement. It drives excitement,
yeah,
yes.
creating lust for these things
Yes.
was much more relevant today than, I don't want to say important, I want to say relevant, than a Buff Book that came out once a month. And you can see that because the magazines some of them have gone to quarterly. They've shrunk in size. Their staffs have shrunk in size, and they've also consolidated. So once upon a time, all those magazines were owned by different companies. Now they're owned by
One or two different.
no, it's
companies.
one. They're all, and most of them are owned by God, what is it? It's the name of the company. I can't think of it now.
It's escaping me too.
Hearst.
Hearst.
Yeah, Hearst. And they also own Bring a Trailer,
Yes.
which probably makes more money than all the magazines combined. But I'm sure it makes more money than all the magazines combined. But anyway,
Well, they have websites too.
They do.
And they did 10
and they
years
do
ago
SEO,
and 20 years
yeah.
ago. Yes.
But like when they rolled out the GR, they rolled it out in Japan. I think it was at Fuji Raceway, which Toyota owns.
Yes.
And were there any video people there? Nope.
No. So here's
it was all the magazines, and back then, and this is still true today. I love these guys; they're great journalists. But I got to do both when I was in my early career. I was both a print journalist for a newspaper, and there's very few people who do both because the two aren't compatible. Like some people, like Clarkson from Top Gear, they're really good at writing and presenting. But that is
also different arts.
Very different skill set because print you tell and video you show. So the natural inclination of any print reporter is a tell. But with video, it's not about me telling, it's about me showing. And it's a whole different way of thinking about the way you present the information.
So you know what happened to me? I heard about this car coming out, right?
Yes.
It flickered on my Instagram reel and my other reel, and I immediately went to YouTube and I typed in Toyota GR-GT, and like one short popped up, and I was like, wait a minute, I know we weren't there, and I was like, where's everybody else? Where's Sofyan? Where's I don't know, name any YouTuber.
Well, whereas pushing pistons, right? These really popular, and I'm gonna bang our drum a little bit. We got 1.3 million on TikTok.
Yeah,
we've got like almost 1 million on Facebook because we do a lot of shorts. And long form video is also very different from doing short form video. But these print reporters who were there are just not good at doing video, and so you ended up with a bunch of people who did really bad long form or even short form videos, and
I didn't even see any.
They weren't.
First day,
nothing.
And then finally, Top Gear dropped their video.
Top Gear is really good at video.
And they dropped their video, and I was very thankful because they actually showed, the naked chassis. Remember, they showed the engine. They showed you could see the transaxle. You could see all of that stuff.
But I felt like I was back in 2010. I was like, holy cow! And with shorts, it's even more important. Like with shorts, it used to be like you had 4 words to capture someone's attention. Yeah. Now you have like 1 word. And if you start your short, hey guys, I'm here in Japan where Toyota just unveiled the GR-GT.
Everybody clicked out.
Everybody has clicked out by the end of the word guys.
Hi guys.
Everybody's gone, and yet this is exactly what we got from the print guys there and gals. And I'm like scratching my head. I'm like, why, guys? Come on, bring the people who are good at this art form and this news form that is now the dominant and most interesting and most relevant form. And yet, you bring out, and these aren't old dinosaurs, there, but you bring out the print folk, and they're going to write their story. And if they're fast, they'll write it overnight, or they'll publish it 3 months from now in the magazine because that's how far magazines are ahead. And so I don't understand why none of that happened.
By the way,
it felt
Don,
like 2010.
By the way, Don is here. We're also live on patreon.com/TFLcar.
Nice.
So thank you for joining us.
Hey, Don, nice to have you.
And Don, I think, is disappointed. He wanted to see Tommy here, not me. So sorry, Don.
Oh, no.
Really, I apologize. Well, you will see Tommy next week.
Watch him tonight on Seth Meyers. He's in the audience if you want to see him.
He's in the audience, not in the chair.
He's not. No, we didn't get invited.
Okay.
Him and his wife are in the audience.
I'm sorry, Don. We'll get to that next week.
All right. So that was the first topic. The second topic I want to talk about is we did a video that became very popular actually on TFL Japan, almost more popular than when. President Trump, of course, said that he wanted cute cars from Japan.
Cole, can you show TFL Japan really quick? It's kind of a channel we recently started.
Yeah, we started this year, and that's our biggest video. I think it went over 200,000, where basically me and Andre did an editorial video where we talked about, what was
the K-Trucks.
The K-Trucks, and was it practical? And it's incredible how many people miss the gist of that story. And I keep hearing it over and over again. So I was just listening to one of my podcasts, and on the podcast they said, President Trump wants to import K cars. And I'm like, where did you get that? Right?
No, he said, let's build them here.
I think I think people missed that part. I think what he said was we want to build K cars or small cars in America. And everybody's like, hey, I get to import my favorite, Jimny.
Well, we do too. We want to import
Yeah.
a Jimny, but that wasn't the whole point.
That wasn't the
story.
point. And it's just incredible how we go from, a president saying, I want cute cars in America, to I want cute cars to be built in America, to people saying now I can import my beautiful whatever Japanese car you have.
And also, we don't know how this is going to play out.
We don't.
I mean, Fiat announced something.
Yeah, that was
that the little baby Topolino is coming.
Yeah, they're going to bring the Topolino.
Cole, did you see this?
That was smart, by the way. Somebody at Stellantis
was
is
thinking
on
actually.
the ball. Yeah, because the Topolino.
A Fiat Topolino.
So
yeah.
Fiat had been toying. Stellantis had been toying with us, saying they might bring it. So this is not something new.
Yes.
And so when President Trump goes out and says we need to build small cars here, all of a sudden they're like, hell yeah, we're bringing the Topolino in.
Yes. There it is.
Actually, we have a video of it, Cole. Tommy shot it at the LA Auto Show. So this is a car that has a top speed of 28 miles an hour.
Yes, I keep forgetting.
It's all electric and has a range of 50 miles. So it's basically a really cute golf cart.
Yeah, where you could drive it in your neighborhood, basically.
Yeah, it's a neighborhood kind of car. I like it.
So it's not a real car.
I like it, but oh God, I don't know if I could actually, or maybe he did a short on it. Maybe it was just, there it is. Was that the short? Keep going down. Down. Scroll down. Right on the left. Is that ours or is that somebody else's?
Not ours.
Not ours. Anyway,
there's Forrest. Where was Forrest?
Too.
He should have done a GRGT.
But the point is, like, this is Forrest wasn't there either. The point is, this is the kind of smart where you jump on top of the news cycle. And all of a sudden, instead of getting all the hatred that they would normally get because all the anti-EV people were like, yeah, they're bringing this little tiny hideous car in. Instead, you get everybody like, holy cow, it's already happening. Fiat is already taking the president's advice and bringing it in, even though I think they had been toying with bringing that car in.
Yeah, that was smart, even though it may never come.
It may never come.
Right. It's one thing to say, you know what, we have a car that we could consider bringing, but a lot of things have to happen in order to actually bring it here.
Yeah. And I don't know. And I think in our editorial, which was, I think, still the most important thing we said, I'm not sure there's a market for K cars or cute cars in America. The problem is in America, people associate cheap with small. They associate all these negative connotations. Do you remember when the smart car was here?
And it's no longer here.
But you remember,
Yes.
It's a bigger problem. You remember when, you saw a smart car drive down the road, and you looked at the owner. What did you think about that person? Right? It wasn't like that guy or gal is really smart because they're driving a smart car, right? It was kind of the exact opposite. It was like there's kind of a loser who can't afford it.
Well, no, that I wasn't passing judgment like this.
Oh, I think
personally.
a lot of people were passing judgment. I'm not saying they were losers.
Right.
I'm just saying that was the vibe that you got when you were driving one of these.
What was a bummer for me when I was I considered buying a smart car.
Yeah.
But when I saw
we had one.
I know, it was kind of cute.
Yeah.
But personally speaking, when I looked at the not the electric one, but the standard smart car, it actually wasn't any more efficient than like a Honda Civic.
Yeah, so why?
So I was like, why? I mean, if it was twice more efficient,
because you could back into it in a parking space and park it. That was
if I
the
lived
biggest
in
selling point.
I know if I lived in Manhattan, maybe I could buy one.
And
but,
even
but,
in Manhattan, people didn't buy them.
Yeah, I know.
Look, okay, let me put it this way. All right, you're in Manhattan.
Yes.
And there's two people that are driving down the street. All right. Now we're going back to smart car times.
Okay.
Not today, but when the smart car was around, which was like 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Right. Two people driving down the street. One of them is, let's call it a guy in his, let's say, mid-50s, which is kind of where the demographic was, driving a smart car. And there's another guy in his mid-50s cruising down in a town car with a chauffeur.
Whoa.
Which one of those two do you think is more successful? Which one is the winner?
I would think a person who's being chauffeured in a nice black automobile probably is the winner.
Yeah, and I think this was always the problem. And the Topolino has been around a long time. It's basically one of those cars. If you get the convertible or it has a rope for a door.
Yeah.
So it's one of those cars that you would like have
on the beach. Yeah.
On the beach, or have on your yacht when you're in Monaco, and then
Yes.
you take it off your yacht and zip around town with it. So it may work like like I've seen a lot of mini mokes running around where they're rental cars. I think the Tupolino may have that kind of vibe to it. I mean, you know what a mini moke is, right?
Yeah, like discovering a little city, by the beach.
Look up a mini moke, and they become electric cars.
They're basically like little.
They were built by
golf carts.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah, that's a mini moke. They were built in Australia.
Yes. They look weird.
I think they were engineered by Land Rover for the Army, if I remember right. And the Army said, no, these are just not like Jeeps. And then they sold them in Australia as little beach cars. And now I think there's a Chinese company that's building electric versions of it. And if you go to places like Solvang in California, you'll see them running around where people just go there.
Or like Key West, maybe.
Yeah, tourist
or something.
town. Yeah. And I think the Tupolino would be good for that. But I don't think anybody would buy it as their, go to work car. Would you buy a Tupolino, Cole? Yeah. He would? No, he's joking. Yeah,
no, Cole. But Cole is considering a Prius. Did you know this?
Yeah, well, the Prius is good. I mean,
efficiency.
We had a Prius in this. What was the name of the color? I forgot the color. It was this mustard yellow. It was.
Yeah, I forget the official name of that color.
Yeah, Karashi.
Yes, it's like a Japanese word.
Yeah, there you go. You just saw it. Yeah, and we took a drag racing. We drove
Karashi.
Yes. Yeah, we drove the beans out of it, and we barely used like an eighth of a tank of gas.
Yeah, we used nothing.
It was incredible.
Yes.
And now you can get them in all-wheel drive.
Yeah, pretty amazing.
Yeah,
and 4 doors too.
Yeah,
I mean it's an actual car,
and it's good looking. It's sexy. It's like wet back. And the problem with the previous, because we live in Colorado, so we like all-wheel drive. The problem with the previous one is it only was an all-wheel drive up to about 25 miles an hour. So it was meant to be. Kind of just
like a get unstuck.
And my man Sophion tried that when we launched it in a field in snow, and it didn't get unstuck.
Wow!
Because it was on like summer tires or all seasons, and we had to have a tractor to pull it out. Sorry, Sophion, don't mean to throw you under the bus, but it was pretty funny how he got it stuck in a field. So now all-wheel drive system is that electric motor in the back that Toyota does. And so it can be all-wheel drive beyond 25 miles an hour. What did you think of it? Did you like it?
The Prius?
Yeah.
Yes, I loved everything about it except hitting my head on the A-pillar because it's so swept back. When I would get out, sometimes I would hit my head on it. So maybe it's not for the big guys, but I really like the efficiency of it and just how it drives. It actually drives kind of fun.
The part that I didn't like is the part where the display, the dashboard is way out in front of you. So you have the steering wheel, and then instead of having the display like, let's say 6 to 8 inches,
pushed forward.
It's pushed back.
Yes.
And the reason for that I was given was because a lot of older people buy Toyotas. I'm not speaking out of turn. This is true, and Hondas. So the reason I was told, and if you know anything other than this, you can let me know, is because as you get older, your eyes have a hard time switching focus. So
I'm aware.
So if the display is way out here where you're looking anyway, and it's easier to see the display, it's the same reason like those digital mirrors aren't very popular because you got to switch focus from like in front of you to up close. And so that's why they did it. But I just found it really weird to have that dashboard. Like it's probably like a good, 1.5 feet way out there.
That didn't bug me. It's just hitting my head was difficult.
Yeah, but you're tall. Everybody will have the problem I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Only the tall folk are going to have the head.
Oh, Matt has joined us on Patreon. Hello, Matt.
Hey, Matt. How you doing, dude?
I'm old school, but I like still hear the details about the cars. I like that. I enjoy listening. TFL Podcasts. Thank you for listening, Matt. Nearly as much as like watching you all. Thanks for listening as well. Yeah,
thanks. We're happy that you're on live with us. So the other car that we have here in the studio, and I haven't driven it yet, is the Audi. And you got to drive that. Tell me about that.
No, I did not. I wanted to drive it.
Okay.
Our producer, Cole, drove it yesterday because
is your mic working, Cole?
Because we did an eye gauntlet.
Okay.
And he was chasing me around in this Audi. It's an Audi SQ5.
I'm going to put you on the spot, Cole. You get to be a reviewer.
Oh, no.
Give me like a 3-sentence review of the Audi. Did you like it?
I liked it a lot. It was really quick. It sounded good, and it was really easy to keep up with.
That's very good.
Telling.
We should put him on camera.
But Cole, did you think?
He said,
did it feel traditional to you? I mean, you drive a RAV4 V6. Was the Audi Well, maybe I'm putting words in his mouth.
Yeah, ask
was
him.
it? Did you like it, or was it like a Tesla? Was it on the spectrum of RAV4 to Tesla? Where was this Audi?
More RAV4 for sure.
Well, so, I mean,
I kind of get what you're saying. It does. I mean, it feels like a car.
Yeah, like it has a regular steering wheel, right?
No.
So no. Is it a Squircle?
Yeah.
Audi's doing Squircles. Yeah, but it is a twin turbo, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it makes all the right noises that you're used to from before.
Yeah.
It's a twin turbo V6, and it's got a normal shifter, right? Normal-ish? No.
That is true.
Oh.
No, it's like the little one that you kind of push it forward and push it
Oh, I
back.
hate the little
and-
tiny shifter.
Yeah.
So in that way, no, it's not traditional.
So the powertrain is traditional, but everything
But
else
everything
is,
else is changing.
Yeah.
Yeah. How many
Oh.
screens? I bet you there's a bunch of
3.
screens.
100
and
screens.
HVACs and the screens.
There's passenger in the middle, and
Yeah,
then the
Yeah.
gauges.
Yeah. But we're going to review tomorrow.
Yeah, we're going to do this just in on it tomorrow.
Yeah.
But the reason I bring that up before we get to all these lists is because you, and we can talk about this, took our long-term, thank you, Honda. They lent us a Passport Trail Sport for a long-term review. I think we got it for like 3 months.
Yes.
Thank you, Alvin. Appreciate that. And we did a lot with it. We compared it to a Bronco. If you haven't watched that video, go to all TFL. All the time, alltfl.com. It's basically a Bronco versus Passport off-road, which is interesting.
In the snowstorm.
Yes, but you, my man, you got to Ike it. You actually Iked it. So it tows 5,000.
Yeah, it's ready to tow 5,000
And you
pounds.
towed a Honda with it.
Yes, I towed a Honda with a Honda. So we had a Honda Talon,
Yeah.
right, which is another long-term loan that we've had at the ranch.
Which is their side-by-side.
Side-by-side off-road vehicle. We also have an Aluma trailer. And so we thought it was a great combination, right? You could put the side-by-side on the trailer, and the whole setup weighed about 4,000 pounds. So it's pretty much within, 5,000 pound. I wish we could have pushed it further, closer to 5,000, but we kind of didn't. But I was still a little bit nervous because the Honda Passport has a naturally aspirated non-turbo V6, and we're going to 11,000 feet of elevation. And I was worried that it's going to, lose power. It's going to be slow.
We have found that crossovers / SUVs, unless they're like the big boys that are truck-based,
they struggle.
they struggle.
struggle.
Yeah.
Yes.
They're not great at towing.
And also, I was worried about downhill portion, right? Because you have to slow down this extra 4,000 pounds.
You know what a thought just occurred to me, Andre. I don't think anybody else tows with these things but us. I can't think of any other publication that actually towed with like a Passport. So you saw it first, and you saw it only on TFL.
Yeah, let us know if your favorite magazine tows with a Passport.
Yeah, who's towed with a Passport?
Okay.
Yeah, it's cool. So how did it do? Spill the beans. You can watch the video. Will be up on.
Yeah, it's already up.
Yeah, okay.
The video's already up.
So we're recording this Thursday, Friday. It'll be published.
We're in the future. I mean, in the past.
Yes.
And it surprised me. It was really good. So normally on the way down, right, we're counting brake applications because we don't want to have too many. We don't want to overheat the brakes. It did 4 brake applications, which is really good. I mean, some pickup trucks
do like 12.
12 or 10. So it was really good. It has a tow mode, so
Yeah.
a special towing mode. But the only negative really about this Passport is that it doesn't have a brake controller, a built-in trailer brake controller.
Yeah.
So we had to use another solution, which we have a remote one. And on the way up, I want to say I used full throttle maybe a couple different times, but I had basically good power all the way up the mountain.
What kind of fuel economy?
Not bad,
Yeah.
because 6 mpg on the way on our climb it's an 8-mile stretch, right? And you gain about 2,000 feet of elevation in this 8 miles, and 6.7.
Yeah, if you want to be the baller at the trailhead when you show up with a Talon being towed by a Passport Trail Sport, you're going to be the.
And then you take
man
off
or
the
the
Talon,
woman, yeah.
and then you unhook the Passport, and then together go on the trail.
Yeah, you can both go off road. Yeah,
Yes.
that's a baller move. I like that vehicle. They've done a really good job. Apparently, they can't keep them on the lots.
You know what they can do to improve it?
That was a transition. Think about what I just said, and think about where I was going to go with that.
Wow, I ruined this
You
segue.
ruined my segue. Because, Andre, I have a list of vehicles that they can keep on the dealer lots.
Because they never leave.
Exactly. So before I tell you where I came from and what I did some cool stuff. recently.
Yeah, I want to hear about your drag race.
Oh,
you
yeah,
did.
yeah. I drag raced some. I'll give you a hint before we talk about it. I drag race semi-trucks. All right, let's talk about the vehicles that are stuck on lots. So this is a list by
So
IC
these are
Cars.
vehicles based on iccars.com that do not sell. Basically, they're stuck on dealer lots, and they're very difficult for dealers to move. Correct?
Yes, right. So shall we do it in TFL fashion, where we start at the bottom of the list and go on up? Okay. So at
Well, I have it here on the screen.
Yeah, that's okay.
Which list do you want?
What?
2024, 2025.
The list is 20.
Well, there are two model years. One is about 2025 models, and then another one with 2024s as
Let's
well.
just do 2025s.
Okay. So number 22 on our list is...
Wait,
This
hold
is
on.
interesting.
This seems wrong. This 2025 list. These are new cars with most. Let's go with 2024.
I think 2024 would be more
Yeah,
insightful.
I think so too. Because why would the 4Runner be on that list? It's brand new.
Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah, maybe I don't know. That is weird. But we can get to that. We'll read those off as well. But the more interesting ones, these to me feel right. So we're gonna go 2024 because they have been on the lot now for
The
a year.
longest.
Yeah,
The longest.
Number 10 is the Jeep Wrangler plug-in hybrid, the 4xe.
Oof.
Yeah.
So I have a guess.
Expensive.
Well, it's expensive.
Yeah.
Well, according to IC Cars, the average price of a Wrangler plug-in is $60,740. Right there, number 10 on this list. But also, they've had a couple of recalls recently.
Yeah.
There's a do not drive recall or do not park inside recall. So I think that's a tough one. I'm kind of bummed because a Jeep Wrangler, especially with that plug-in, drives pretty well. You could also be, effortless EV, off-roading in a quiet manner. So that's a bummer.
The next one is also kind of a head scratcher. It's number 9 is the Nissan Z. And remember, we're moving up to the one with the most on the lot.
Yeah.
And Nissan just recently announced that they're going to sell these only as bespoke. In other words, you're going to have to order them if you want one. They're not going to have them on the lots. And I talked to some automotive journalists about this because I love the Z. I'm a Z guy. I've owned 3 of them.
Yeah.
And the consensus is that Nissan just didn't do enough to make it worth buying, right? Because basically, the current Z has the guts of the 370 underneath it. So like the switchgear, the powertrain, it's all the old car. So they kind of gave it a new design, but they didn't actually do anything.
I am a little puzzled, though, because they gave it a nice engine, 400 horsepower,
Yeah,
right?
twin turbo V6.
Twin turbo V6.
Yeah.
They gave it, there's a manual option, isn't there?
There is a manual option. It's not
So
a great manual, but it's a manual. In
yeah,
a world where no manuals exist, hell yeah.
Maybe it's too expensive. Maybe that's why. Because at 53 grand for a Z, I could buy a nice Mustang V8. Maybe that's the problem.
And Mustang isn't selling that great either.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah, Mustang's not on this list, but it's also not exactly burning down
Okay,
the
what's
house.
next? Number 8.
The Dodge Charger. I take it that's the old one.
That's the electric one.
Is it the
is
electric?
that the electric one?
I don't know. It doesn't say. It just says Dodge Charger.
Well, if it's electric, 59 grand, the average price. Yes, I could see this because Dodge...
Must be the electric one.
Yeah, because Dodge tried to fit a round peg in a square hole with this car, and it's not jiving with the people out there.
The point of this list, of course, is if you want any of these cars, you might be able to get a deal on it.
A massive deal, probably.
I would think
because
so,
if
yeah.
these cars are still in the lot, just waiting for an owner, yes, you can get a deal.
Genesis GV60.
Okay, curious one. It's the smallest of their SUVs. So it's the smallest. If it was a 70 or an 80, I think those are pretty popular.
I think building a brand is really hard, Andre.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that Genesis has not become part of the cultural vernacular yet. I think a lot of people, if you're not a car guy or car gal, you don't even know what the heck a Genesis is. I think Genesis is still at that nascent stage of where they're trying to get.
But
people.
Roman, we've been doing so many Genesis videos. Why doesn't everybody know this? Because they don't watch us. So please start watching.
Oh, no, wait. We're supposed to build the brand for Genesis? That's what you're saying? Even if we had, massive numbers, I don't think we'd still. I just don't think. Do you think people
You're
know
right,
what Genesis
you're right.
is?
No, they don't.
They don't. So
They don't.
it's
No.
and I say Genesis to you, and you're like, okay, I think it's like the luxury brand of Hyundai, and then I say GV60, and you're like, what the hell's a GV60?
Yeah, well, I actually knew enough of it. It's the smallest one.
So
Yeah.
I would say, first of all, get rid of the stupid ass names.
What, GV?
Yeah, I mean, like go with like Stinger. Like that's a good name,
Genesis Stinger. Yeah, I would buy that.
right? Like go with real names. Don't go with GV, TL, PC, whatever the hell you want to call it. Just don't go with these alphanumeric or numeric alpha combinations. They really don't stick in people's minds. All right, number 6. This is another head scratcher. Jeep Grand Cherokee L with an average.
It's not the Grand Cherokee.
Oh, sorry, Jeep Grand Wagoneer L with an average price, and this may be the reason, of $92,497. That's another one that Stellantis kind of. I was going to say screwed the pooch, and it's kind of cold and heartless, but it's kind of true. The problem with the Grand Wagoneer, there's 3 problems with the Grand Wagoneer. Number 3, Andre.
Let's see if I agree.
Okay, number 3, it's too expensive.
Average price 92,000.
Yeah.
Yes. Number 2.
Number 2, it doesn't know if it's a Jeep or a Grand Wagoneer, right?
Well, now it knows.
Yeah, but it
didn't know before, but now it knows.
There was no Jeep name or badge.
But now, well, yes, because 2024 it wasn't sure if it was a Jeep.
Yes, it didn't know what it was.
That's a problem.
Unless you looked into the hood and you saw like the Jeep, little labels on the hoses.
Yes.
And I would think number 1, the biggest problem with it is it's just not very good. It's just not. It's just,
you know what the problem is?
If you're going to go up against a Suburban and Tahoe, you better bring it.
No. Yeah, I think I know the problem.
It's not bad, but it's not great.
It started out with a big, giant, honking V8.
Yeah.
And then for 2024,
Twin
2025,
turbo V6.
it went to a straight 6 Hurricane twin turbo, which is a great engine, but it doesn't have that cachet, right? It doesn't have the V8. I've made it. I'm paying $100,000 and I'm buying a quiet engine.
Oldest nameplate in the automotive world in America is Suburban.
Yes.
It's been around the longest. So if you're going to go up against the
A
grand
V8 Suburban.
a granddaddy of all of these 3 rows, and then you're going to go up against a Tahoe, and you're going to go up against the Yukon, you better bring your A game. And what they did was they brought a boat ton of technology. They brought screens, they brought expense, they brought maybe too much luxury. I think the reason the Suburban is so successful as well as the Tahoe is they're not Escalades, and they actually created an Escalade in terms of pricing, right? Because remember the one we had at the Chicago Auto Show, it was like $126,000, and I just don't think that there's a market there for a Grand Wagoneer. And it's ironic because you can make the argument that the Wagoneer was the first, if you take the Range Rover out of it, was the first luxury SUV.
It was. It had wood paneling.
Yeah, but then they didn't do anything for like 30 years.
I know.
So people's memories
They
aren't
lost
that
the
long.
brand,
They lost
basically.
the brand, yeah.
Yes.
All right, let's keep going.
Number 5.
Number 5. This I could have told you is a Dodge Hornet.
I don't know what to say because it's sad.
Well, and number 1 is also the Dodge Hornet plug-in hybrid, so we got both of them. And number 3 is also the same. These all have the same problem. Number 3 is the Alfa Romeo Tonale. So
It's the same
let's start
stablemate.
Let's start with
Yes.
the Tonale. I went to Italy to actually drive this, and in Italy that car was fantastic because first of all, Tonale is a very famous pass in Italy. So you're like, cool, man, this is named after a pass that people like drive. It'd be like naming it after
Eisenhower Tunnel.
Loveland Pass.
Loveland Pass.
Right, or pick,
Alfa Romeo Loveland.
But
I would drive that.
Yes, but when you Alfa Romeo Loveland, but when you translate it into English, it becomes toenail. Like somebody at Alfa Romeo didn't realize that tonale and toenail are very similar. And then the other thing I figured out when I was driving this, and you can put the Hornet and you could put the
Hornet plug-in.
Yeah, because they're all Alfa Romeos that have been rebranded. The size is perfect for Italy. You're on these little tiny roads, and you've got just enough pep, and the car is fun to drive, and you're tossing it around. And you're in an Alfa Romeo, which is like in Italy, which is a prestigious brand. But here, Alfa Romeo doesn't have that name recognition like it does, unless you're an enthusiast. You're not really tossing it around because you're going down the highway. And worst of all, it's a small car. The size is just wrong, right? It doesn't fit into American lifestyles. It's too small if you're maybe as an empty nester, but a RAV4 is bigger than this thing. Really is.
Yeah, and I think that was the biggest fault, of the Dodge Hornet, plug-in and non-plug-in and the regular one. It's going up against amazing vehicles for what they are. Honda CR-V, Toyota RAV4, right? They're all in a similar size. And everybody has one. Kia, Hyundai, Ford, and it didn't bring enough.
And then also bad naming. And I was just complaining about not having real names.
Hornet is a great name,
but the Hornet wasn't a great car. You didn't like the original Hornet was an AMC.
But I don't remember this.
You want to look up a Hornet.
But Roman, for a younger person, like I don't think Cole knows what the original Hornet is. Do you, Cole?
But there's a lot of people in that demographic who, and I don't want to be like, who grew up here, right? Because
1974, Roman?
You left a lot. Yes, 1974.
I wasn't alive in 1974.
I know, but you also weren't here through your high school years where these cars were used cars. So when you were here, if you had been here when you were like 10, 12, right, which you weren't, then you would have realized that you would have seen these cars on our roads as crappy. I didn't mean to.
Do you have a beeper? Booper?
We don't have a beeper. We're live. As crappy. Well, look, listen to Matt's podcast. Gosh, he drops the F-bomb every single sentence. So if I drop one S, I apologize. But these were like kind of crappy old cars. And so the reputation of these things wasn't the one you're looking at. It was like worn out, old.
Wait a minute, Roman.
Yeah.
There was a 1973 AMC Hornet X Gucci edition. Now that is the one I want.
It's like they did it twice. They did it with the Dart, right?
Yeah, I know.
It didn't work as a Dart, and this Hornet didn't work either. It didn't work, and they keep going back to that. And I'm like, no. If you're going to go back to a car, it's got to be a car that has some fizz to it. Charger, Challenger, right? And
those are good names.
Those are good names.
Yes.
Mustang, right? Hornet, Dart, oh, God.
Camaro.
Swinger? Let's just do a Swinger next.
What is a Swinger?
Look up a Swinger. A Dodge Swinger.
Please don't tell Citation.
There you go. There's a Swinger.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, these are like celebrity. These are just bad cars, and now, they're
remaking them.
Yeah, they're remaking. I have a friend, Ed, who loves darts, but he's just a scientist, and he's weird about cars, and so there is this love for these things, but it's pretty tight. So there's two we forgot. Number 4 is the Chevy Malibu. It's a sedan. Sedans aren't selling.
It's almost
old.
discontinued.
Yeah.
Yes, and it's also fighting against the Camry and the Accord.
Yeah.
Right? So that's a tough one.
And the one that really is kind of...
I don't understand the Grand Cherokee, dude.
That's number 2. Yeah, that one I don't understand.
It used to be the bestseller. One of the best sellers for Jeep.
Look at the average price, $64,000.
Well, yeah, that says something about it.
That says something. Remember the Cherokee used to be kind of an entry-level, boxy, square car that was affordable.
Yes.
And then the Grand Cherokee kind of followed up with that, and it was a little bit nicer and a little bit more premium. But at $64,000, you are getting into BMW territory.
Yeah.
It's almost too much.
Mercedes and territory.
I think a Grand Cherokee should have an average price of like $50K. So take it down at least 10, and then I think it would sell.
And by the way, I think Stellantis is fixing a lot of these problems. So the Charger now has a gasoline engine, right? The straight 6 Hurricane. The Grand Cherokee now has another engine for 2026, and it's more affordable. The Malibu is gone, so they discontinued the Malibu. The Hornet, I'm not sure what they're doing with the Hornet. And the Grand Wagoneer, Cole and I were just in Detroit, a month ago.
Yeah.
They put the Jeep logo back on it, and it's a pure Jeep now, and they are rebranding it.
So these 10 cars with the most leftover 2025, I think there's something wrong with this list because these are the hottest selling cars. So number 10 is the 4Runner, number 9 is a Maverick. These are just very popular cars. Number 8 is a 4Runner Hybrid. Number 7 is the Taos, 6 Nero, 5 GR Corolla, 4 Lexus LX 600, Subaru BRZ is 3. Number 2 is the GX550. You can't get those, dude. They're not left over on lots. And the number 1 is BMW i4, which kind of makes sense. That's the electric BMW 4 Series.
I'm not getting this list.
No, I don't get this list. So we're gonna put this aside, and we're gonna not try to figure it out. But let me tell you what I got to do. I was just at the proving grounds for Toyota outside of Phoenix, Arizona. It's in the middle of nowhere on purpose.
Okay.
And I got an entire tour of the proving ground, but they did roll out.
I'm jealous.
They did roll out. You should be jealous because we got the drag race, or I didn't get the drag race. I would say if you were there, you would have demanded to drive it, and rightfully so. So they had 2 semis hauling 80,000 pounds. One was hydrogen powered, and one was the traditional diesel. One was a Kenilworth, one was a Peterbilt. because Toyota makes the powertrain.
Yeah.
Not in
the fuel cell powertrain.
Yeah. And they put them in a line and they drag race them to show the difference.
Don't tell me who won because I don't know.
I'm not going to show you. I'm not going to tell you.
Okay.
But I got to sit in both because they didn't let me drive it, even though I guess I could have because it's on a proving ground. But I don't think they wanted to let journalists loose behind, and
because it would have opened the floodgates, Roman.
Well,
floodgates.
like the drag race was easy, but then the stopping was not so easy.
Was this a quarter mile or was this a short distance?
It was short. Yeah, we didn't go quite a quarter mile. But yeah, you could feel the weight pushing on you. 80,000 pounds is a lot, and you can feel it. So I got to do that.
That's cool. That video's coming out just in a couple of days, right?
Yep. And then they get this. They had all three of their off-road Tacomas back to back to back. So the TRD Off-Road, TRD Pro, and Trail Hunter. I got to drive them back to back off-road. That was cool.
Where did you drive them? Like on the off-road
On the
section?
off-road course. Yeah, they obviously they have like hills set up. They have kind of like your pit in a ranch, except much bigger.
Well, thank you.
I think they have like 12,000 acres. We have 22.
We don't have the budget that Toyota has.
They had, when they first built this proving ground, get this, 1993, they had a 10-mile oval. 10-mile oval, yeah.
Dude, can you imagine going top speed on a 10-mile oval?
10-mile oval. Now it's kind of broke. Over the years, it was... it got the pavement got bad. But imagine a 10-mile oval. Imagine like if you're like one of the Akio Toyota's father actually was there for the groundbreaking. Imagine when he got the bill for that. By the way, you'll
was this in the 80s? You said
93.
93.
Yeah.
Well, the land should have been cheaper back then.
No, to build a 10.
Well, yeah, I know. Yes.
We have to build 10 miles of pavement.
Yeah.
So I got to do that, and then this was cool, and you were kind of scratching your head about this, but it actually is pretty cool. They had a hydrogen-powered Tacoma and Tundra.
Well, when you said this, I saw the SEMA truck, the Tacoma H2, right? That was basically a Mirai fuel cell drive units stuffed inside a pickup truck, which I thought was pretty clever. But then you said there was a Tundra, but it was hauling a fuel cell inside of it.
It had a fuel cell, and they were using it. So they set up a tent, and then they set up like bathrooms and speaker systems, and they were charging two EVs. They were charging it had a Woodland EV actually.
Oh yeah. Oh okay. The new one.
Yeah. The BZ Woodland.
Yes.
They were charging that, and they were all charging it off the fuel cell. And while we were there, it generated, get this, 2 gallons of water. Because when you use a fuel cell,
byproduct is
water vapor. And
Did you drink the water?
I asked them that, and they were like, "You probably shouldn't." I did.
It's pure.
When we had the Nexo, I drank it.
Yeah, it doesn't have any minerals or anything.
It has.
in it, right?
Yeah, it has no.
Just H2.
No electrolytes.
Which is just H2O.
Yeah, and it's not healthy because it's kind of tastes metallic. So you can drink it, but it's not grand. I have an idea that I passed along to them. I'm sure they'll not listen to me. But I thought if they had a Mirai, you should, you have a water bottle? They should have a water bottle holder, and then they should have a little spout where they purify the water. From the exhaust,
yes.
Right? And then purify it, add electrolytes, and it goes right. Wouldn't that be cool? It goes right into your water bottle, like one of those big Stanleys.
Yes, and it makes a little bit of coffee for you as well.
No, it just makes clear water. You just watch the water go in as you're driving. How cool would that be?
Yeah, that would be awesome.
Yeah. And then the coolest one of all, this was badass, dude. So we're sitting there, and you saw this. You saw us at SEMA, right?
Oh, yes.
So we're sitting there, and they go, "We got something special for you." And off of their off-road course, they have a bunch of off-road course, this side-by-side comes peeling out, kind of going sideways, full lock, and then comes right at us. So Toyota built get this, a Tacoma-powered side-by-side. A 2.4-liter hybrid Tacoma power side-by-side.
Yes.
And keep in mind that the Tacoma is about 1,000 pounds heavier than the side-by-side. So over 300 horsepower.
In the smaller, more lightweight package.
Yeah, 1,000 pounds less than the Tacoma.
But as a side-by-side goes, Roman, this is not lightweight, right? If you compare it to like a Polaris or a Can-Am.
I want to say it's like 3,500 pounds, either 3,000 or 3,500.
Yeah, that's a pretty heavy side-by-side, but it's impressive looking.
Well, first of all,
it's crazy.
It's the first side-by-side that I know of that can run on only electricity because it's a hybrid. So they said it has like 5 miles of all electric.
That's cool.
So if you're like hunting, right? Even though this is a sports one, this isn't the utility.
They could build a hunting,
but they couldn't build hunting. But let's say you're hunting, you could sneak up on the game in stealth mode because you could drive it in all electric. Or let's say you're in Moab, and people in Moab you have this weird thing where you have two speed limits. You have a speed limit for cars, which is 35 in town, and then you have it for side-by-sides, which is 25. You know why that is? Cole, you know why that is?
They don't have seat belts. No, they do have seat belts.
No, they have seat belts. They have turn signals.
Headlights.
No. Why? What? Airbags? No.
Is it sound pollution?
It is, yeah.
Is it sound related?
Yeah, because side-by-sides are really loud and kind of farty. And the reason that they don't want them going 35 is that they're too loud and too annoying, so they make them go 25.
Which is painful in a high-performance machine.
But here...
all electric? I mean, a hybrid, not all electric.
Right, but yeah.
But electric mode.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, so you could just, 26 inches of suspension travel.
Yeah, that's huge.
Yeah. Yeah.
So do you think they're going to go through this? Are they going to sell them?
The interesting part, do you remember Scion?
Yes, I remember cheap, affordable, small cars.
Yeah, so they retired that brand, of course.
Yes.
And now the name of the side-by-side is the Scion 01 concept. So they're bringing it back for the side-by-side.
Yes.
And the other crazy thing is...
Are they going to sell it at a Lexus dealership?
Yeah, it's a Lexus or Toyota dealer. The other crazy thing about it is I think it's one of the few side-by-sides that actually has a traditional 8-speed automatic. Because side-by-sides come in two flavors, right?
Yes.
Most of them are CVTs, except for Honda, which is a dual clutch out of their motorcycle. And so this would be one of the first side-by-sides with a
traditional automatic.
Yeah.
Yes. This is interesting.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I never understood this, so maybe you can explain this to me. Toyota has an incredible off-road heritage, and they built a lot of really good off-roaders, but they do nothing in power sports. So there's no motorcycles, no side-by-sides, right? There's no Toyota power sports. Honda, across the way...
Honda builds anything and everything.
Incredible power sport tradition.
Yes.
So, dirt bikes, side-by-sides.
You name it.
But there's no true low-range off-roader that they built, as far as I'm aware. Right, the Passport is Trail Sport. I was thinking of the Ridgeline is as close as it gets to an off-roader.
Yes,
but yeah, there's no real power sport.
It's puzzling.
Yeah,
but Toyota also owns many other companies, right? I mean, like Hino, semi,
Daihatsu,
trucks, Daihatsu.
Part of
but I'm
Subaru.
Surprised that Toyota doesn't really have in their portfolio
an off-roader,
a power sport.
Yeah. No.
Division.
So are they going to build it, right? I said it's a Scion 01
It's a concept. It's a concept.
So I was talking to the engineers, and they were like, "Hey, that's your job, Roman. You gotta convince the
you have to create the Genesis brand, and now you have to create the Scion brand too."
No. You have to convince the muckety mucks in the Toyota City, maybe Akio himself, that to greenlight this, that they should build it, that this is something that the company should do. And so I say to you, Akio, take my money.
But what if it's $45,000?
Yeah, so what? The enclose it. I mean, that's where everything's going now, right? Give it air conditioning. You're already there, right? You've got the powertrain. So make it like the Expedition, like the Polaris Expedition. And yeah, those are 50,000. This is where we're at with side-by-sides now. We are at 50,000. So I think it's smart. I think Jeep should also be thinking of this. So, Polaris is definitely eating into Jeep's world, especially from the off-road side. Why not go the other way? In other words, why not have Toyota, and also eating into Toyota's world, right? Why not have Toyota take on Polaris and all the other, Yamaha, right? All the other power sports, and actually use some of their engineers to build these things.
You know who else could be convinced of this?
Who?
Jim Farley. Because he's participating for the second time in a row in the Dakar Rally with a custom-built, they call them Raptor T1s, right? And they could also build a side-by-side. I mean, they have the heritage, they have the off-road racing. They could also come in here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So I also talked with some of the journalists about the new Mustang GTD, right? The $400,000.
Yes.
And so this is a segue into our list of bull.
Wow, Roman, you have really good segues.
All segueing, yeah.
You have really good segues.
And the consensus by many people was that unlike the previous Ford GT, the first gen, right? The two GTs, right? So you had the first gen, which was built by Ford, V8.
You're not talking about the GT40. Not
No, I'm
from
talking about the
60s.
first.
You're talking
the
about
Ford
the 2000s GT.
GT, yeah, the
Yes.
one that is the older of the two.
The V8 one that
Yeah.
everybody wants.
Yeah, the V8 one that's
I want
manual.
one, by
That's
the way.
manual, not the EcoBoost one.
No.
So what's happening with those two prices is initially, of course, the new one, the EcoBoost, right? The swoopy, sporty looking one. Can you look those up? Look up Ford GT so that people see the difference between the two of them. The prices are crossing.
Really?
Yeah. So the first generation GT. No,
Well, the blue one on the bottom, which
that's
one?
the second generation. Yeah,
Scroll down.
that one. So yeah, you got both of them there. Yeah. So
The red one is the first gen.
generation. Yeah.
And then the blue one is the second gen. Yes.
So the prices are crisscrossing. The first generation, this one that we're looking at is in the Gulf livery.
Hold on. There's too much. There's
much.
too much happening here.
There's way
What
too
is
much.
happening?
There's like, I don't know. Well, this is the designer. I interviewed him.
Uh-huh.
This is the designer of the first one. There's the first
There it
one.
is.
There it is.
Bam.
So that one,
Smack.
that one, the prices are going up.
I want one so bad.
Exactly. There it is.
Yes.
And the prices on the second one are going down, the new one.
About time.
So they're crisscrossing. And the thinking is that the new one, the Mustang GTD, is not going to have, because both of these went up in value. But the thinking is that if you're thinking about getting a GTD, that it is not going to increase in value, that it's going to actually decrease in value.
Because it's already 350 to 400,000, right?
Yeah, they start.
As it is.
Yeah, and the reason for that is because it's Farley built it as a Porsche GT3 RS competitor, but it's extremely heavy and it's got the footprint. It's very big.
It's a large car.
It's like I think it's 4,500 pounds. I could be wrong.
I think you're close.
Yeah,
You're there.
It's very heavy and it's very big. And this is everything.
It says 43, so almost 4,400 pounds.
Yeah. And it's built by basically Multimatic.
Yes, but the EcoBoost GT, the second gen GT, was also largely built by Multimatic.
But it's different because this one, the GTD, Ford gives them the body and then they kind of widen it and they stretch it. Whereas the second generation GT, the one with the EcoBoost engine, that was a complete...
Multimatic.
Yeah, well, it was Ford,
unique body.
right? But it was unique.
Body,
They didn't take an existing...
It was bespoke.
Yeah, they didn't take an existing Mustang and basically convert it. And the first GT as well, it was completely bespoke, and that was, I think, built by Ford. Whereas this is basically a customized version of a Mustang with the big Mustang GT500 engine. So it doesn't necessarily have a unique engine, doesn't have a unique body. The only unique thing about it is kind of the way the suspension works. But when you combine all that, and they're going to build, I don't know how many they're going to build, I should know, but they're going to build.
I don't know if we know.
I don't know if we know, but it's not limited, I don't think. And you combine all that, and the thinking is it's probably not going to go up in value. So maybe the first year, but at the end of the year, it's probably going to go down.
You heard it here first, folks. If you want a GTD, just wait. I'm going to be waiting.
So wait, be the second buyer.
Yes, not the first one.
And I could be wrong. Anyway, that's my segue.
Well, that's your segue to the Hagerty's bull market list.
Yeah, so this is every year Hagerty does this. They pick cars that they think are going to appreciate. And the way they do that, of course, is Hagerty insures a lot of classic cars. And so they can watch to see what cars people are buying, how much the value is. Because the way Hagerty works, unlike any other insurance company, is when you buy a classic car, you say, hey, this thing is worth $35,000, let's say. And then if it gets stolen or if it gets wrecked, they'll pay you $35,000. Yes. But it's not, they don't like say, they don't go and then, like a regular insurance company, like your truck. So you have a Tundra TRD Pro,
yes,
previous gen. If you were to crash that, then the insurance company would say, this is how much we're paying you. And you'd be like, oh, no, it's worth a lot more, because they wouldn't take into account that it has a snorkel and that's that cool blue, right? They would just probably find like
just comparable somewhere.
To another Pro, but not the really cool one. And then you'd be in an argument with them.
Well, Hagerty is a little bit more enthusiast-based.
Yeah,
right?
And with Hagerty, you say, I paid $35 for this, or whatever you paid for it.
But they also, I tried to insure with Hagerty my bread loaf, my Buchanka Russian van.
And they didn't?
And, there's
no category for it.
There's no category for it, so we argued a little bit.
But did you get insured?
Yes.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, it's all good.
Yeah, how much did you
This is not brought to you by Hagerty, by the way.
No, none of this.
They don't pay us.
In fact, they compete with us.
They compete with us heavily, and also IC Cars doesn't pay us.
No, nobody pays us, unfortunately.
Except for you who watch us.
Except our patrons. You guys pay us, so thank you. We really appreciate that.
All right, so, dude, when I started the TFL, when I first met you in 2011, my first shtick was I was writing a column on the website called Modern Collectibles. I really wanted to predict what was going to be valuable and collectible.
That's your scientist. That's your,
that's my mathematical
scientist
mind.
coming through. Yeah.
Yes. So was I right or was I wrong? Let's find out.
All right. So 2006 to 2013 Chevy Corvette Z06, $55,000.
So this is the C6, and the Z06, this is a large motor car. This is a 7-liter giant V8. I drove one around the block once.
I'm going to give you a car at the end of this list that I think is going to appreciate. Besides,
but I could be on board with this one. Are you on board with this one?
Corvettes are hard. They appreciate, like the C1, of course, appreciated. The C2, C3s are worthless right now. Unfortunately, we own one, or I shouldn't say worthless, but they're not. The Malaise era Corvettes aren't doing well. And the issue always with Corvettes is they built as many as they could sell, and that's hard.
It's an every gal's supercar.
All I know is we had a C6, and I didn't like it. I did not like our C6. So I'll tell you that. Personally, I thought the car just was lacking some of the charm and some of the quirkiness of the earlier ones. And there were a lot of problems with the earlier ones because we had a C5 as well. We currently have a C3. Case had a C4, right?
Yes.
But I just found the C6 to be a little kind of. I like the Grand Sport. If it were me, I would get the Grand Sport version of this because we had it. This was young enough that we had it as a review car. And I really enjoyed the Grand Sport. I've never driven the C6, the Z06 version of it, but the one that we had, I wasn't in love with.
I think this Z06 C6, 6th generation, I think you would buy it for the engine.
Well, the problem with the C6 is the C7. The C7 just
took it to the next level.
Took it to the next level. It just became much nicer interior. It had that 7-speed, which I think was a little bit better, and so I might be tempted to just go for the C7 because at $55,000 you won't get a Z06 C7, but you could probably get a Grand Sport C7, and I might be tempted to go for that. It's just a much nicer car in my opinion, much more refined, much better put together, much nicer interior. So, all right, let's keep going.
Let's move on.
That's kind of where I'm at.
Because this is our third hour we're speaking here for.
Yeah, we got to keep going. Yeah, are we over an hour yet, Cole? Yeah. Oh, gee, okay. Oh, my God. All right, 2006 to 2010 BMW M5.
It's because we're having fun, Roman.
We're having fun, yeah, 36,000.
So my wife's cousin, Mike, you've met him, Mike the transporter. He owned one of these cars back, several years back, and he really thought it was a hoot. I haven't experienced this V10 powered M5, but I'm kind of lusting after one.
I am lusting after one big time. My biggest question is, you're going to pay $36,000 for it? How much is it going to cost you to reliably maintain that thing?
That scares me.
Whoa, it's going to be expensive.
That scares me.
Yeah, you're going to have to budget another $10,000 per year for repairs, and I don't think I'm exaggerating. So you may want it, but. Gosh,
for 36, is it 36,000, Cole? For 36,000, is that what Hagerty said? For 42 grand, you bought a Viper V10.
That's the car I would get.
That's the car I would get for that money.
I think the Viper is undervalued.
Yes. And this might be overvalued.
Yeah, especially the first gen. If you really want, because analog is in right now, everybody wants it's all about the experience. It's all about, the sound,
control and all that stuff.
And shifting. Get yourself a manual first gen Viper. They're $40,000 to $50,000. And they are reliable because they're Dodges.
Yes.
That engine is not fancy. It's just a pushrod V10. Nothing breaks on that car unless you roll it into a tree, which is possible. But yeah, I'd go for the Viper all day long. Let's keep going.
All right, keep going.
Yeah, I know we got to
what's
wrap
next?
This up.
Oh my God.
Yeah, this is a Doug car. I don't. This is above our pay grade, so it's the Porsche Carrera GT 1.5 million. I have nothing clever to say about this because I've never even sat in one, let alone driven one. So there's nothing I can add to this conversation.
I don't know if I've ever smelled one. So let's move on because
don't know.
That's not our money.
This one I can talk about. This is the 1999 to 2005 Mazda MX-5 Miata 16,600.
Yes, why not? It's a lovely car.
We had an NC that we owned. I'm kind of over Miatas. I don't think Miata's the answer. Actually, I'm being grumpy.
What was the problem with the recent Miata that we had on loan from Mazda?
Yeah.
I wasn't fitting inside of it.
I don't fit either, and that's you named.
So I think you and I are the wrong people to ask.
Yeah,
about
don't
this.
ask us because I look right into the top of the A-pillar.
Yes,
and
I felt claustrophobic in one.
Remember, this just sold at the donated car auction for like $7,000.
Very nice one.
Very
actually.
nice one. Yeah,
very
so
clean
that 16.6. We should have bought that one for $7,000. If
we should have asked Hagerty before.
Yeah.
No, it's a good car, but it's just not for you and I. Probably.
I agree. I absolutely agree. All right, keep going, Cole.
Oh wow. Okay, so the Japanese spec Skyline GTR.
Love this car. Would not want to own it.
1995 from 1996 Nissan Skyline GTR, 82,000. Wow, that's a lot of money.
I am so over right-hand drive cars in America. I am so over them. We had that Mini that was right-hand drive. Try going to a Starbucks or a McDonald's in one of these things. I know that's a very TFL way of looking at it, but that's how I look at it.
I don't want to go unless my lovely wife is sitting next to me and she could talk to the drive-through attendant there.
And I know if you're younger, this is just a me thing. You're probably not going to be bothered by it. And it's cool, but I do not like right-hand drive. They're just inconvenient.
It's just an odd driving experience.
Yeah,
just really odd.
And you get used to shifting with your left hand, which is great. It's not that much harder than shifting with your right hand. But why? It's like it's like going to a fight with one hand tied behind your back. I don't want to do that.
All right, let's move on.
Yeah, let's keep going.
Ooh,
no, you're a Volkswagen dude. So this is all on you. Tell me, it's a 1995 through 98 Volkswagen Golf GTR VR6 for $20,000. Is that the one to get? Because you had this generation, didn't you?
No, I had the fourth.
You have
the four. So this is what we're looking at is an MK3, so the third gen GTI. VR6 is a great engine. So it's a narrow angle V6, right? So quiet, unique engine. This one made 172 horsepower. Oh.
In the Bentley.
Yes, they put two of those engines in one engine, and Roman bought it.
And created the W12.
Yes, that's beautiful.
Get two.
Why buy one?
And the Bentley was only 35, so if you bought two of these cars, it would be 40.
Yes. So this is actually not my favorite generation of Golf.
No, I mean, I don't like the look of them. They're
so I love this second gen. The round headlights.
Yes.
The MK2s are amazing. And I also love the MK4 because it was kind of like...
I'm with you. I don't like this one.
Hagerty, I think you're wrong.
I don't know. Even in yellow, it looks boring. It just looks boring. For this much money, you can get a Corrado, which I would get all day long, or you can get a Scorpio. No, what was it?
Scirocco.
Sorry.
Scirocco, yeah.
Sorry. Or you could get a Scorpion. That's a whole different car. That's a Cosworth. You could get that for...
Yeah.
You could. Yeah, there's a lot.
I guess it depends. If you grow up with one of these, it might tug on your strings.
Yeah.
But I did not grow up with this one, so it's not.
We're gonna go pass on that one.
Pass.
Oh, here we go. This is more TFL.
So 1990 through 93 Chevy Silverado. Basically, this is like a K or a C1500 Silverado truck. 454 SS.
Yeah.
But Roman, do you see the price?
Yeah, $59,000 for a raccoon truck.
Roman, I had no idea these trucks are this expensive. Wait a minute. So a 454 SS is $60,000?
Yeah, it's like a Typhoon.
Cole, Roman, I could have bought.
Typhoon was a pickup, right?
Yeah, I know. But we could have bought like 4 of these 10 years ago for that much money.
Maybe
or 15 years
people
ago.
Want 2-door sport trucks.
Maybe they do.
Maybe they're coming back. Maybe
shocked.
Ford's onto something with the Lobo, right? With the little Maverick.
Yeah, I'm shocked. I'm shocked. It's a fun vehicle, but it's still an old Chevy.
And it's also rear-wheel drive, which
it's not four-wheel drive.
Yeah, I like the wheels though; they're cool, and I like the color. I don't like the raccoon look on it.
So is it a pass No, I think it's a go for it, but the price seems high.
You know, the interior is going to be velour. It just is. All right, keep going, Cole.
Oh,
yeah, this one
I could go for this.
For 25, I'd go for it. This is cool. I would definitely own it. We're looking at a 1981 to 93 Dodge Ram Charger, 25,000. That is a cool car, and it's probably the last one that went up, right? Because the Tahoes, the two-door Tahoes, went through the roof.
The Broncos,
the two-door Broncos,
OJ Simpson Broncos.
So this could be the most affordable way into that like big American
two-door type
SUV.
SUV.
Yeah, and I love the Ram on the hood. Is it a Ram? It's a Ram, right?
Yes,
it's so cool.
All the way, thumbs up. Especially even at 25
Take my
grand.
money, yeah, and I love that red and white combination that they have. Oh hell yeah! I think the problem with the reason they're the last to go up. You know, it's another one like that. So when I was young, the hot car was the Supra, fourth gen, right? Along with
the turbo,
along with the RX-7. Along with the Mitsubishi VR, blah, 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 and the 300ZX, which
VR4s, yes.
But the 300ZX has not come up, but finally they're starting to come up. But the Supras went first, the Mazdas went. I think the Mitsubishis haven't gone yet. Those are all competitors. And the reason for, I think this one haven't gone is the quality on these is probably pretty abysmal.
And also,
I don't
know, maybe not a lot of them were built.
Could be.
But
they would make them more valuable.
Yeah, potentially. Yeah, but you know what? What if they brought this name back? Remember how they had the Ram Charger name?
That's a free one for you, Nick. Bring it back.
Yeah, they're bringing back this. That's what I'm guessing. Yes, Nick, it's a free one.
You just figured it out, Andre.
What?
Get rid of the Grand Wagoneer.
And bring back the Ram Charger.
No, just rename it. Rename it as the Ram Charger.
Sorry, my neck. I just had a pain in my neck.
Sell it as a Ram. No, that's actually not a bad idea.
Yes.
Yeah, get rid. Cause it doesn't belong with Jeep. No one's buying it.
Bring it back in.
Lower the price of the Grand Cherokee,
Wagoneer,
and then lower the price of this and call it a Ram Charger and sell it as a Ram.
Done.
There you go, Nick. It's all yours, man.
Tim Kuniskis. There you go.
Don't know anything about the Alfa Romeo GTV except that
it's sexy
beautiful.
as heck.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, it's a 1969 through 1972 Alfa Romeo GTV.
Yeah, can't say anything smart about it. I would love one. It's beautiful.
It's probably amazing to drive.
But if it were my money, I'd buy a Corvette.
Another one?
I would.
Yes.
I would get that old Z06 over this.
All right, we don't know enough about this one.
Oh.
The original Charger.
This is Nathan.
Where's Nathan?
Yeah.
1968 through 1970 Dodge Charger at about $91,000 or so. Wow.
So this was like one generation ahead of me, the guys who love these. Mm-hmm. And I think that what you're seeing is the Fast and Furious, right? Because this is what's his name's car.
Yeah, it's Toretto's
car, right?
Basically.
And I think that's what's bringing the price of these things up.
Yes.
Because that black one in Fast and Furious is so iconic, and it is an iconic design. I mean, it's just absolutely gorgeous. And yeah, once again, it's a great car in a straight line.
But it's also before my time, too.
But these cars were they're great cars in a straight line. Just don't hit a curve.
Yeah, you don't want to turn.
You don't want to turn. And then, of course, the older generation that's into these things are resto-modding them, and now they're even worth more because they want CarPlay, and they don't want the AM
and
FM radio anymore.
And
they want Spotify, and they want to be able to, call their doctor just by going, hey, call Dr. Pete, as opposed to, having to dial it. All right, keep going. Are we at the end of this thing yet? Oh, another one.
We're getting there. Wow, this is beyond my years.
No.
56 for 57 Continental Mark II. I don't know enough about it.
It looks like a startled car. I don't like startled cars.
No.
Right? The expression is like the teeth are out and the eyes are open.
Yeah, this Lincoln is not for us.
No,
sorry.
I would get a Mark IV. I would get a Mark V, which I own. My dad had a Mark V. Mm-hmm. That's my generation. I guess this one is a two-door, so that's why it's going up in value.
It looks, yeah,
because the two-door,
could be a removable top too.
Could be. I'm not a big white wall kind of guy, and I'm not a big chrome kind of guy. It's got a lot of that. I love the color that they picked, which is this like light blue. But yeah, no. Not
okay, let's keep going.
And that's it.
Oh, we're there.
We're there. So out of all these cars, if I gave you one to pick, which would you buy? And then we'll wrap it up.
let's review really quick and let's look if we have any more comments on Patreon.
Oh, it's easy. Ram Charger all day long.
Oh, especially for $25K.
I'm there. I'm buying one. Give me one. If you got one,
If you give me money, a Carrera GT for 1.5.
No. You're. I'm not giving you money. It's your. This is real. This is your money. You get to buy one, which you have to convince your wife. You don't want to mortgage your house. Which would you buy?
Ram Charger. All day long.
That's the answer.
Yes.
Yeah, I would buy that.
It's 4x4. It's big.
It's cool. It's got that big Ram on the front of it. Yeah.
All day long. Ram Charger.
All day long. Done.
Tim Kuniskis, please build one. A new one.
Yeah. Yes. Build a new one. Okay. Well, guys, thanks for joining Andre and myself. I think next week Tommy is back in town,
and Don will be very thankful.
Yes, and if you want to hear more from Andre, what was your Talking Trucks podcast?
It was really fun.
Yeah.
So one of our friends, Stephen Elmer from Truck King, was a guest on our show, TFL Talking Trucks, and we chatted about many topics. We chatted about behind the scenes of filming, towing comparisons and off-road tests. He does a lot of difficult off-roading in Canada. They also have a property up there.
Hydroline.
Hydroline.
That's
Hydroline. Lots of water, but also it's an electrical line.
Did you talk about his Tacoma transmission that he broke? Did you guys talk about that?
Ooh, no, that's a sore subject.
I was wondering if you talked about that.
No, but we also talked about trends.
Okay.
We talked about SEMA, going to SEMA and looking at trends, sport trucks.
If you love trucks, this is going to be an excellent discussion, I'm guessing, because this is two dyed-in-the-wool truck guys going at it, and it's got to be fun. I'm going to listen to that one, Andre. I can't wait.
We're really great friends, but we're also competitive.
Yeah, it's fun. Did you talk about like inside? A
little bit.
Yeah.
We talked about thumbnails. Because we talked about getting that thumbnail, especially for an off-road video, that's steep and deep.
Yeah.
But you don't want to damage anything.
Yeah, that's
what I'm saying. There's a balance.
I know.
How far do you go? Do you damage something or do you go steep and deep?
Yeah, good.
So,
I'm going to listen to that one. I'm looking forward to it. And that publishes on
just
Friday.
about now.
Yeah, right now.
Yeah,
right now. Tomorrow. Yeah.
So. Yes, yesterday. But
well, today's Thursday, so tomorrow for you guys it's 3 days ago.
Sorry about that. But also you have like you said, you have a lot of cool Toyota stuff coming up as well.
Coming up, yeah. So stay tuned for that.
Yeah, and also, we have another video with the Land Rover Defender 130 pickup truck.
The one that's going to be really interesting, and you should definitely watch, is we are doing our Truck of the Year testing, and our premiere video will publish
drag race
right now. This is out already, and you drag race the four full-size half-ton. Yeah, so if you want to find out which is the quickest half-ton or full-size truck, head on over to TFL Truck or alltfl.com.
And it's also important because this is the last video in the series,
and then
which after this video,
we pick the winner.
You pick the winner. So you got to watch this.
We'll name the TFL Truck of the Year. All right, guys. As always, thank you for watching. Head over to alltfl.com for more news, views, and what, Andre?
Real world reviews.
We'll see you next time. Ciao.